I sat on the worn-out recliner in my living room, the faint hum of the heater battling the December chill. The phone call from my daughter, Elena, still echoed in my head. "Papa, it's better if you don't come for Christmas this year. Victor's parents want a quieter holiday, just their family." Her words stung sharper than the Spokane wind. I'd spent years building her world, paying for her house, her car, her life, and now I was uninvited. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling, my mind replaying the sacrifices. The $2,500 monthly transfers for her mortgage, the $30,000 down payment I'd scraped together from my savings, the new appliances when Victor complained their kitchen wasn't modern enough. My retirement fund was a ghost of what it used to be, and my own home hadn't seen repairs in a decade. All for Elena, my only child, who now saw me as an inconvenience. The rejection burned, but it wasn't just about Christmas. It was the years of being their bank, their handyman, their fallback plan, while Victor's parents, wealthy, polished, and refined, looked down on me. A retired carpenter with calloused hands and a thick Puerto Rican accent didn't fit their vision of family. I stood, walked to the kitchen, and pulled out a folder stuffed with bank statements. The numbers didn't lie. $150,000 over 5 years, not counting the extras. I wasn't just uninvited, I was erased. I picked up my phone and dialed my bank. "I'd like to cancel an automatic transfer," I said, my voice steady. The customer service rep, a young woman named Sarah, asked for my account details. "It's $2,500 monthly to Elena Rivera's account, effective immediately." Sarah paused. "You've been sending this for 5 years, Mr. Torres? Are you sure?" I looked at the cracked linoleum floor I couldn't afford to fix. "I'm sure." Hanging up, I felt lighter. The weight of their expectations lifted, replaced by something new. Resolve. Christmas was 2 weeks away, and I had a plan. Not revenge, but truth. They'd learn what happens when you push away the one holding you up. The next morning, I woke to a text from Elena. "Papa, we need to talk about the mortgage. The payment didn't go through." I ignored it, sipping coffee from the good mug, the one I hadn't used since my wife Carmen passed 7 years ago. Another text followed from Victor. "Hey Juan, there's a mix-up with the bank. Can you fix it?" I set the phone face down and opened the newspaper. For the first time in years, I wasn't calculating how to stretch my paycheck to cover their bills. By noon, my phone buzzed again. Victor's mother, Margaret, her voice dripping with that practiced politeness. "Juan, we're counting on you to pick us up from the airport tomorrow. Flight 312, Delta, 1:30 p.m. Don't be late." I almost laughed. Less than 24 hours after banning me from their Christmas, they expected me to play chauffeur. "I'll handle it," I said, hanging up before she could add more demands. I spent the day sorting my evidence. Bank statements, receipts, text messages where Elena promised, "This is the last time we'll ask." I printed screenshots from her Instagram, photos of their new patio furniture, their Cancun vacation, their dream kitchen, all funded by me. Each piece was a brick in the wall of truth I'd built. The airport was busy when I didn't show up. At 2 p.m., I was at home, sanding a wooden chair I'd been meaning to restore. My phone lit up with missed calls. Margaret, Victor, Elena. By 3 p.m., a furious voicemail from Margaret. "Juan, this is unacceptable. We waited for hours. Do you know how humiliating it was to take a cab?" I deleted it and kept sanding. The chair's smooth grain felt like progress, like reclaiming something I'd neglected. By evening, my phone was a war zone in notifications. Elena's text escalated from confusion to anger. "Papa, why didn't you show up? This isn't like you." Victor's was sharper. "You're making things worse for everyone." I turned off my phone and poured a glass of rum, the bottle I'd saved for a moment worth celebrating. Tonight felt close enough. 3 days later, I opened the Spokane Chronicle and nearly dropped my coffee. A headline screamed, "Local man abandons in-laws at airport amid holiday chaos." My name, Juan Torres, was plastered next to an old photo from my carpentry business. The article quoted Margaret and her husband, Richard, a retired lawyer with a knack for spinning tales. Margaret said, "We were stranded in freezing weather, completely abandoned by Mr. Torres. His behavior is erratic, possibly dangerous." The weather was 50 degrees, and they waited maybe an hour. But facts didn't matter when you had connections. The byline read, "Elizabeth Harper, features editor." A quick search confirmed Richard's ties to the paper's publisher through their country club. This wasn't just a tantrum. It was a calculated strike. They'd weaponized their influence to paint me as a villain. But they'd made a mistake. They went public, and I could too. I opened my laptop and began compiling my response. Every bank statement, every receipt, every screenshot of their lavish life. I noted the $150,000 in mortgage payments, the $10,000 for their car, the $5,000 for their essential home upgrades. I cross-referenced their social media boasts with my financial records, creating a timeline of exploitation. By midnight, I had a dossier, 12 copies, one for each guest at their Christmas Eve dinner, based on Elena's Facebook event. Christmas Eve arrived, gray and biting. I dressed in my best suit, the one I'd worn to Carmen's funeral, and packed my briefcase with the dossiers. Their house in Manito Park glowed with holiday lights, cars spilling down the street. Through the window, I saw Elena in a red dress, playing the perfect hostess. Victor's parents sat at the head of the table, surrounded by friends who nodded at their every word. I walked in unannounced, the front door unlocked as always. Elena loved bragging about their safe neighborhood. The dining room fell silent as I entered, my briefcase a quiet threat. "Good evening," I said, placing it on their polished oak buffet. "I hope you don't mind a brief interruption." Elena's face drained of color. "Papa, what are you doing here?" Victor stood up, his voice sharp. "This isn't the time, Juan." But I was already handing out the dossiers, one to each guest. "I thought your friends should know the truth about this house, this dinner, this life you're so proud of," I said, my voice calm but unyielding. A man in a cashmere sweater flipped through the pages, his brow furrowing. "What is this?" he asked. I met his gaze. 5 years of financial support, $150,000 in mortgage payments, $10,000 for their car, $5,000 for their essential home upgrades, all from me while they told you I'm erratic and dangerous. Margaret's voice was shrill. "This is outrageous! You can't just barge in here!" But the guests were reading, their expressions shifting from confusion to shock. A woman in pearls gasped at a bank statement. "This can't be right. Elena, you said your husband paid for this house." Elena stammered. "It's complicated. Papa offered to help." I pulled out the newspaper. "Complicated? Let's talk about how you and your in-laws spun this lie to ruin my name." I laid copies of the article on the table, my notes highlighting every falsehood. They claimed I abandoned them in a storm. It was 50 degrees. They called me unstable because I stopped funding their lifestyle. Richard's face reddened. "You don't understand the context, Juan. We're a certain kind of people." I cut him off. The kind who take a man's life savings and then ban him from Christmas because his accent and job embarrass you? The room was silent, the guest's eyes darting between us. A woman across the table spoke up. "Elena, is this true? You let your father pay for everything while treating him like this?" Victor tried to intervene. "It's a misunderstanding." But the damage was done. The guests' faces showed disgust, not at me, but at their hosts. I closed my briefcase. "Enjoy your dinner. It's the last one I'm paying for." As I walked out, the room erupted in questions and accusations. The sound of their perfect facade crumbling followed me into the cold night. 3 months later, a letter arrived. Notice of foreclosure. Elena and Victor had missed 4 mortgage payments, $10,000 in arrears. They had 14 days to pay or lose the house. I set the letter aside and sipped my coffee, the new kitchen tiles gleaming under the morning light. I'd finally fixed my home, bought new furniture, even booked a trip to Puerto Rico to see my cousins. My life was mine again. Elena showed up that evening, her eyes red, her usual confidence gone. "Papa, we're going to lose the house. I didn't realize how much we depended on you." I let her in, but didn't offer coffee. "You made choices, Elena. You chose their approval over me." She cried, her voice breaking. "I was wrong. Victor's parents, they pushed me to exclude you. I should have stood up for you." I nodded. "You should have, but you didn't." She looked around my house, seeing the changes. "You're doing okay without us."